If you were around in the 80s and 90s like I was, chances are you're familiar with this cartoon. No, chances are you're really, truly fond of it. It's national artist Larry Alcala's award-winning creation, Slice of Life, a series of cartoons depicting, well, a slice of life in the Philippines. Published every weekend from 1980 to 2002, avid fans like artist Toym Imao and I would spend Sundays staring at the colorful worlds Larry Alcala created on the back cover of the magazine to spot familiar characters in the crowd, including Alcala, who always inserted himself into the scene. It's a bit like Where's Waldo, except that Slice of Life was created by Alcala 7 years before the British cartoon. Well, we both grew up with Larry Alcala's Slice of Life. Why was it so compelling to our generation and even
I think
other generations?
The bottom line was that it was not separate from real life. I mean, this is a microcosm of Philippine society, so to speak. Somehow, we found ourselves, no? Our kapitbahay, our friends, our mother, our relatives.
I guess it was so Pinoy in a way.
Yeah, it's so Pinoy, and you would often relate to some of the characters there. In one entire scene, no? The humor, it is like a time capsule of Pinoy humor and sensibilities. Basically, every slice of life is a zeitgeist of the era.
Sculptor and multimedia artist Toym Imao worked briefly with Larry Alcala at the Manila Times in the late 80s. Unlike the digitally assisted illustrations of today, Toym recalls how, back then, everything was drawn and colored entirely by hand.
I think that's why we appreciate it more, the old school art. It brings us back to that particular time when we call it mano-mano, the way we do things in creating the kinds of artworks that we do. No?
Which makes the original artworks of Larry Alcala even more valuable to fans like Roy Carino. Although Alcala's body of work counts over 500 cartoon characters, 20 comic strips, and 15,000 published pages in his 56-year career, getting your hands on an original, more so a slice of life original, is considered rare, especially after Larry Alcala was conferred the National Artist Award posthumously in 2018. Roy is one of the few lucky ones who were able to collect originals with a personal connection to their life, like this one of Santo Domingo Church of Intramuros, which he enjoys visiting, or a supermarket, his business. Even a Volkswagen in this scene is similar to the vintage Beetle Roy owns. And though most original prints are in the hands of the cartoonist estate and collectors like Roy, the founders of Scarletbox NFT now make it possible to own a digital version of Alcala's popular characters, a one and only digital character from the original Slice of Life universe in the form of non-fungible tokens or NFTs.
There's so much fun things that can be done from Larry Alcala's work. No? What we're planning to do is we're going to extract the little characters from Larry Alcala's Slice of Life to create PFPs, or what they call profile pictures, no? In the Web3 space. And what we saw with Larry Alcala's characters, it's like you can find a reflection of anyone you know, be it old, young, doctor, lawyer, teacher, nurse, children, senior citizens. And when these are, and when people buy from the platform, these will be randomly issued out to the collectors. And then when they get it, then they can trade it if it's not something that they like. And then they can trade it or give it as a gift.
Scarletbox's Larry Alcala NFT project is their second in a series on national artists. Their previous one, a cross-generational collaboration featuring the masterpieces of Jose Hoya and Abdul Mari Imao, as re-envisioned by second-generation artist Andre Baldemore and Toym Imao as NFTs, were auctioned online earlier this year. For the Larry Alcala drop in the coming weeks, Scarletbox will have a pre-sale for registered guests and VIPs, and later, an auction open to the public. For each drop, the NFTs will vary, from original Slice of Life characters to much rarer ones with the digital work of popular Web3 artist Bjorn Calleja, Black-Eyed Freaks, Blank Tunes, Bored Punks of Society, Distort Monsters, and Mustachio Quest by Only, embedded in Alcala's hand-drawn characters. To make things exciting, you only find out the character you want at auction when it's time to be revealed.
You don't get to choose your characters at the initial mint. However, in the secondary market, after everyone's minted, then it will be fun because now you can trade and look for the ones you like and maybe sell the ones that you maybe don't identify with. So, and with the nice thing about the surprise element is you might be able to get a rare or a super rare. We'll also have like a diamond rare where Larry Alcala's face is hidden.
Although NFT drops are unusual to most art collectors, the trade in NFTs for profile pictures on social media or as avatars in the Metaverse and gaming platforms is extremely popular among digital natives like Ismael, whose company worked with Mustachio Quest to create a Filipino presence on the web through projects like the Larry Alcala collab.
So how can we as Filipinos create our own identity and culture? It's through those works of established artists na nauna na. So especially national artists, their works really embodied us as Filipinos. So I think that will help us identify who are those Filipinos inside the Metaverse. So it's not just a PFP, it's more than that. It's an identifier for our culture and identity.
Indeed, if we want our youth to connect with their heritage, bridging their digital world with the country's past is a great way to start.
It's the age of avatars. No? Why not create something? Try to pick something that's part of our visual culture as a country, as a nation, as a people. No?
What Scarletbox is doing for Filipino art, Metiz is doing for traditional Filipino cuisine.